What is up guys, it's your boy Solheim here, back with another World of Warcraft video for the War Within. Now today we're talking about gold making in the War Within, and moreover we're talking about investments, aka items you can buy right now that will have a very high likelihood of going up in price in the brand new expansion. Now investments is how I have made a lot of my gold across like retail, Dragonflight, the War Within now, and also in classic WoW I have made so much gold by looking at what's coming in the brand new expansion and investing early. Now, if you have seen my classic WoW investments videos, we're usually taking a look at what's coming in future expansions, and we are investing based on that. In retail, we are doing it differently. We're looking at what was available in the previous expansion that still has certain use cases, because those items will now be farmed way less. It kind of makes sense, right? When the War Within comes out, people are going to be doing a lot less Dragonflight content, and therefore they will loot a lot less of these materials, enchanting materials, and all of that as well. So we're taking a look at items, materials, battle pets, you name it, cosmetics as well, from the Dragonflight expansion that will still retain their value in the War Within as well. So, now before we get into the video itself, I do want to say that I have just made my War Within Goldmaking Guide public this week as well. If you haven't checked it out yet, definitely do so right now. There's going to be a link down below at the top of the description of the video or the pinned comment for the guide itself. Now I have spent a lot of time on the beta learning absolutely everything that I can for professions, and I have made pretty much a deep dive on every single profession, including how to spend your knowledge points and talking about how to spend your concentration as well for different professions, basically helping you maximize the profits you can make from crafting. We also have farming professions, and we have found a lot of farms in the War Within from the beta as well. Now you will have access to those farms at the launch, and they're even in the guide right now. So like when the expansion comes out, you already know about the farms that I have found on the beta that you can then do from day one. In addition to that, we're going to be talking more about investing in the Discord server that you get access to when you buy the guide. So if you want to have more investments than the ones covered in this video, once again, check out the guide to join the Discord server, and I will hook you up. Now, you also get, here's the thing, this is a guide that I've made right now for the War Within. You also get my Dragonflight Goldmaking Guide in that same purchase. So, when you buy the War Within, my Goldmaking Guide for the War Within, you get my Dragonflight Goldmaking Guide for free, included in that same purchase. And to sweeten the deal, right now you can get this guide for half price using the code Solheim. So if you want to make way more gold in the War Within and support me at the same time, check out the gold making guide. The link will be down below one more time in the pinned comment. And if you do check it out, thank you so much, I really do appreciate it. Now let's talk about investments and gold making in the War Within. Now when it comes to investments, this one is going to be different from my other videos that I made for the War Within, because I've been talking a lot from the beta perspective, showing you what you can do in the War Within when the expansion comes out. On the other hand, for investments, this is stuff you can do right now. You can spend the gold you have and potentially make even more gold as well. Now, this will require a couple of things. It will require, first of all, you having extra gold left over, and also having a little bit of knowledge on the market, because I can show you items that I'm investing into, but you still have to know the market on your server, your faction, your region a little bit before don't just go to the auction house and blindly buy anything. Make sure to double check the price and see if it's a good price, and if it is, then you can start considering buying it. So with that being said, let me show you guys a couple of the items. Well, let me show you what I've been investing into so far. So first of all, this is my bank character. We have a lot of different items on this character, and I'm just going to hover over all of them, talk about them really briefly, but for the most part we're focusing on a couple of categories. We're focusing on category number 1, cosmetics, category number 2 is battle pets, and category number 3 would also technically be cosmetics. It's the formula illusions, so like enchanting illusions, right? And I also have a couple of toys. We have the technique for the renewed proto drake, so these are going to be obtained way less when the expansion is over, and the same thing goes for example this one, the pattern for the Forlorn Funeral Pal, which is a toy that we got when farming, for example, open world farming. You can see I bought a couple of them for 500 gold, and they're already up to 5,000, so we're already up 10 times profit on my 2 purchases there, and I only have 1 left over because I learned 1 as well, and I've sold 1, so I bought 2, I've sold 1, I sold really early, but even then we have 1 still, and we're buying the regular pals as well because they are also really cheap, so we're focusing on toys, cosmetics, battle pets, and stuff like that. Now when it comes to cosmetics, you don't just want to buy any cosmetic, you want to focus on Dragonflight cosmetics as much as you can, but I've also been picking up some Shadowflight cosmetics as well because some of them are really cheap. So first of all, we have a couple of epics here. We have the Maze of Renewed Purpose, I got a couple of them for 300 gold each, and they have a region market value average of 2.6, so that is pretty cheap if you ask me. We also have the Distinguished Blade of Cartel Al, and we bought those for 500 gold, and they have a region market value average of 15k. Now we also have, and I want to say this, I focus a lot on Dragonflight stuff here. So we have tier hold. I like the way the tier hold items look, and they have a really distinguished look that could be sought after in future expansions, either the War Within or even later as well. You have the tier hold carbine, for example, this gun right here. It looks kind of heavenly. It's like heavenly slash old god kind of, it reminds you of Odin's Hall, right? It's kind of old god themed, but like the Norse gods or something like that. You have tier hold. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm focusing on cheap tier hold items. You have a couple of really expensive ones as well. I mean, going to the auction house right now, if we search for tier hold, yeah, a couple of them are really cheap, like the Aegis here is 900 gold, and the Gavel is 49,000, and a couple of them, like tier hold gloves, they are 25k, and yeah, a couple of them are really expensive, as you can see. So going back to the tier hold category, I bought a bunch of tier hold short swords, and I have 9 of them on me right now. We have 3 on this character, as you can see. Solheim Speed has 6 of them as well, and I think these looks really cool. It's like, it's a regular short sword, there's nothing extra about it. Let me just drag this one out to the middle so you can see. There's nothing really extra about it, but it just looks super simple, and I've bought 9 of them. We have a price difference from 900 gold to 3.8, and I think this is a cool looking sword, and I can see this one going up. And once again, people are doing tier hold content somewhat regularly right now. It's current content. When the War Within comes out, nobody's gonna do this, and the only way to be able to farm these in later expansions is you go back and you group farm in tier hold, only looking for these items. Meanwhile, right now, you get a lot of gold from other places too, like cloth, for example. You get the orbs, you get the shards, you get so many different things giving you gold from farming this right now. Meanwhile, in future expansions, the only thing that will give you gold are these tier hold cosmetics, which I think they're going to go up in price by quite a huge margin, especially a couple of them. Now, we also went for example, the Draconian Enforcers Hide Splitters. I only bought 3 of these because it's a Warglaive, but I mean, once again, it's a Dragonflight only Warglaive, like it's only dropping from Dragonflight content, so I feel like it's going to be less in supply in the future. We also have a couple of other items as well, the Nokhud Centaur War Staff. Now, this one was pretty expensive. When I bought this one, actually, I've bought 2 of them. One was cheap and one was expensive. I've bought one for 3,000 gold, and I've bought one for 12,000. Now, the region market value average on my server is 71, so I feel like both of those are pretty okay. Now, we also have a couple of Primal Revenant Frostblades, and I've been buying all of these kind of Primal Revenant type of blades. You have the Ember Blade, you have the Frost Blade, the Earth Blade, like all of those, right? These are dropping from the invasion, so not the invasions, but the portal thing, and I mean, look, they look pretty cool. This one right here. Once again, this is the Frost Blade that you can see right here, and it comes with an enchant. It's a Dragonflight content, and this is the type of Dragonflight content you won't be doing again. Or you might, But in that case, you're only doing it for these items, and they have a very low drop chance. So I've just been spam buying these, because to me, it just makes sense. Now we also have a couple of the Forlorn Funeral Pal that I just talked about. We have the recipe, right? Now, if you're buying these, I would buy the recipe over the actual crafted item, because the recipe will be more in demand by people buying the recipe than crafting for a profit. You also have, for example, the Great Maul of Ancient Sentinels. We bought that for 2.8k, and we have bought 4 of those, so we have 3 of them in the bags right now. And the final cosmetic is the Edge of the Enlightened. Now we bought these for 3,000 gold each, and they have a market value of 34,000, almost 35. Now, apart from that, we have also been focusing on illusions, illusion enchants. So, for example, we have the Formula Illusion Primal Fire, and I've just been buying every type of primal. So we have a couple of Primal Fires here, Primal Earth, and I do believe we have a couple of the other primals as well on a different character, but only Fire and Earth on this one right here. And some of them are pretty expensive. I mean, these as well, 9,000 gold each, seems pretty expensive, but once again, it's Dragonflight content. The only way to get these is by doing Dragonflight content, and they have a pretty low drop rate once again, so I can just see these going up in price. And comparing my server's price to the region market value average, it looks to be a fairly safe buy. Now, the third category of items was battle pets, and for this I've only been focusing on a couple of battle pets. I've been snagging some of the cheap ones from the auction house, from, once again, various Dragonflight content. I mean, you have the obvious one, the Echoes, right? Echo of the Depths and Echo of the Inferno, Echo of the Cave and Echo of the Deeps. These are dropped from the Elemental Invasions, and they have a pretty low drop rate, and once again it's dropping from scheduled Dragonflight content that people are going to be doing a lot less in the future, and people are doing it right now, plus have been doing it recently for farming gold. Because when you're doing these invasions, not only are you getting these battle pets, you're farming the rousing air, rousing earth, rousing fire, rousing frost, right? The different types of elements that people are using in professions. So they're getting steady gold from that, and any of the battle pets they get is just a bonus. Now, for example, when people were farming a lot of these echoes, we bought them for 50 gold each, and they're still selling for 50 gold each. So like the Echoes of the Cave are super cheap, because people are farming those rousing earth in that cave with a force hyperspawn, making this pet super common. Now, even though that farming technique will still be there in the future too, the rousing earth will not be as valuable in the future. Meanwhile, the battle pets will still keep their value to collectors and new people joining in. Now, I also have a second character that I've been stacking some items on, mainly in the same categories. So going to Solheim Speed, we have a couple of, couple of transmogs. So cosmetics, we have the Aegis of Tyrhold, we have 3 of those. We have Tyrhold Drape, we have the Brackenhide Null Guard, and this one is going for 8,000 gold. That's a pretty cool looking shield as well, if I can say so myself. So this one looks pretty cool and has a very distinct look. And once again, dropping from Dragonflight content. We also have the Gavel of Tyrhold, that is the expensive one, going for 50,000 gold right now in my auction house. We have the Primal Revenant Frostblade once again. Tyrhold Short Swords once again as well. Tyrhold Broadsword as well, like the big two-hander right here. And we have the Centaur Tracker Javelin as well. I also just realized the tracking room was over here again, so let me just, we have the Bulwark, for example. We have the Brackenhide Null Shield that we had all the way over here. Looks pretty cool. And we also have this one, Citadel Warden's Maze. Now, on my server, and I have to say this, on my server it's going for 170,000 gold. It is way overpriced, because the region market value average is 29. But as you can see, min buyout for me is 170. So many of the Citadel items on my server, they have absolutely been pumped in price. So I already have a couple of them, I'm really happy about that. We also have the Draconid Jade Bulwark, looks really cool. We have a couple of more maces, so as you can see, this is the expensive one. The one that's been pumped to 180,000, and I have 4 of them, because we bought them super early, and we bought them for 2,500 gold each, and I mean, this mace looks pretty cool. It does look pretty cool. and it's something you only get when doing Dragonflight content anyway. And then finally we have the Gavel of Tearhold again. Now there are a couple of additional investments that I've made myself as well, and one of them is sitting in my bags right now, and has been doing so since the start of the video. That is the Tuft of Primal Wool. This is a type of material or crafting reagent that we were farming really early in the expansion, and it's not super hard to farm, but for some reason it has a ridiculously low drop rate, and the mobs you're farming, they're really annoying. They keep knocking you back in many of the places you farm them, and they just in general have a really low drop rate. So these are really good to farm because they're really good to farm / buy right now and keep for the future. Because they keep their value, you can use these as a currency to buy various amounts of transmogs, crafted items, collectibles throughout the expansion. So you can basically, people that did not do this in Dragonflight, the people that join in the War Within, they might at some point down the road think to themselves, I want those items, and then they realize this right here is the currency they need, and they're just gonna pay whatever they have to pay. If they have to cash out for a WoW token, then pay like 50,000 gold to get their cosmetics, that is nothing anyway for them. Now, in that same regard, I've been buying a couple of other items that are a little bit more annoying, because this one stacks to 1,000. So they can just sit in your reagent bags. Now, there are 2 more items that should be counted as reagents, but they are not technically reagents, so they just take up a lot of bag space. That is the Tuskar Jerky and the Flash Frozen Meat. For those of you who watch my Dragonflight Goldfarming videos, you've probably seen a couple of videos on these 2 materials, because we had several farms for these 2 materials. So Flash Frozen Meat, I've been buying quite a few of those. We have 4,200 of them, and the Tuskar Jerky, we have almost 10,000 of those as of right now, bought 9,800 of them, and as you can see, we have the average buy price of 52 gold right here, and for this one the average buy price is 149 gold for the Flash Frozen Meat. And these are also used as, what do you call it? They're used as a currency when buying collectibles, visual upgrades, or like collectibles, transmogs, right? Cosmetics. You buy cosmetics with them, and these are used as the currency you have to hand in. They're basically used as a hand-in / repeatable quests / use as a currency when buying stuff. So they will just always be in demand by people that wanna get those things later, and one thing about these is they take up so much space, so based on that alone I can see them going up in price, because not everyone is going to commit this space they have to keep these items for the future. And it's a mistake that I see a lot, and I've made myself in the past, is that instead of keeping items like this in a guild bank where they take up space, people juggle it back and forth in the mailbox, and then suddenly you take a 2-week break or a 3-week break, and then you just end up quitting for a couple of months, and then you come back, and then those items from the mailbox, they are now permanently gone. They have been deleted because you haven't been online in a couple of months. So I would recommend setting up a guild bank / have multiple characters with huge banks and just fill those up with items if you are going to be stacking materials like that. Now, as you can see, we have a bunch of various other items as well, just various materials really, and even the garrison materials for the module, right? Now, when it comes to Dragonflight investments / items to buy now and sell in the War Within, I just want to say this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. These will not double in price overnight. Even when the War Within comes out, they might go down in price before they go up, because people might start panic selling. If you're doing investments like this, you're in it for the long game, and I would just say buy them now and wait half a year, maybe even a full year, and then start considering looking at selling them. So once again, it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. You will not get your gold back anytime soon, but when you get it back, you might get double the gold, triple the gold, 10 times the gold. It really just depends on how cheap you're able to get the items and how much they actually do end up going up in price. Either way, hopefully this video helped clear up how I'm looking at investing, and which items I'm putting some gold into right now before the next expansion comes in, and what I'm thinking about investing in general, plus giving you some tips and tricks. And the advice I said at the end here really can't be stated enough. You probably won't see profits from this before at least half a year down the line, so be patient. If you're doing investments, patience is key. Either way, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below, and if you want to talk more about investments, once again check out my War Within Goldmaking Guide. Through the link down below, you can get it for half price by using the code Solheim, and yeah, that's it. Thank you for watching, I really do appreciate it, and I will see you again in the next video very soon.